Good evening and welcome to Sports Overtime. We are here in our digital studio. You can watch Southeast Sports Plus Monday to Friday, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We spent this past week previewing a lot of great games in and around college football and basketball with our friends from Nexstar Nation. Here's the best of.
Why do you think he chose to head to Baton Rouge rather than stay in a place that he openly admitted to saying, hey, I found myself here in Oxford?
I think it's easy to look back and say, hey, 3 out of the 4 previous head coaches all won national championships. And I think he knows, he's been in Tiger Stadium. It is a different animal. It's a different feel. This fan base is next level and they have high expectations. You go to Oxford and you have, a 10-win season. That's phenomenal because they had never had that before. But that's the bar. And when you are competitive and when you want to be the best coach in of all of college football and you say, hey, if I go and do that at this program, I can do it there because it's been done. Lane Kiffin is full of himself. He knows that he's a better head coach than Ed Orgeron. He knows he's a better head coach than Les Miles. He knows that, and he's willing to say, hey, I'm going to go do what they did, and I'm going to do it better. So for me, I think that was his reasoning. I think he looked at the roster, he saw at Ole Miss, and he was like, hey, yeah, they're in the college football playoffs. This team's not built to win a national championship. We can all be honest and say that openly. Now, if they go and win it, I will say, I put my foot in my mouth. I was wrong. But until they do that, they haven't had an SEC title championship yet. What are we waiting on?
Right.
And so Lane Kiffin wanted to go to the program that he has the best opportunity to show, hey, I am a good coach. I'm going to put my name in the cement and say, hey, I am one of the best in the country, and I'm going to do it here in Baton Rouge.
Absolutely. One of your insights that I truly loved is, and I heard it from a few places, but I think you articulated it the best. It was that Lane Kiffin really, he loves the attention. And you kind of compared it to like that pretty girl in high school or in college. It's just like whatever it is, like people talking about him, he loves it. But there's also a side of him that is about pure business and about pure football, and you saw it there at Ole Miss. Do you think that he'll still be able to blend both of those worlds? The troll that we all kind of like and love, and the attention seeker that he likes and love about himself, and keeping up with the Juice Kiffin stuff, and with the actual expectations that are on the field, because the expectations, as you mentioned, aren't the same in Oxford as it is at Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be challenging for him because, again, you go to Oxford and the bar is really low and you can kind of fly under the radar and you can put together a good roster. But if you don't reach those expectations, it's like, hey, you're okay. You're still doing something that other coaches haven't been able to do. That's not going to fly in Baton Rouge. So I think there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. I think he might, I don't want to say pull the reins in a bit, but he might not be the big time troll and stay trolling to that level until he actually earns it, if you know what I mean. Like if he's successful, then I think he's going to be nonstop. But I think in the process, I think there's going to be a little bit of a, hey, let me go do before I say a lot, and I haven't done a lot. So I think we've seen him grow. He's matured. I still think he's going to be a troll. I just think it might be reined in a bit because of where you are. And LSU is already one of the top brands in college football. You get a lot of criticism, attention, all of the above, and you got to back it up or you're not going to be in Baton Rouge for very long.
Right now it's kind of politics season, whether it's politicking to get a guy to
New York. Everywhere today.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's politicking to get a guy to New York City for the Heisman Trophy, politicking to get a team in the college football playoff. Before we get your thoughts, Roger, let's hear from Coach Steve Sarkisian saying his team is one of the top 12.
We're the first team since the 2019 national champion LSU team to beat 3 top 10 ranked teams in the same season during the regular season. So let's just chew on that for a second. There's been a lot of great football teams that have played over the last 6 years, but we're the first team since LSU to beat 3 top 10 ranked teams in the same season during the regular season. Okay? I think we have the number 5 ranked toughest schedule in the country. We've played the number 1, the number 3, and number 4 ranked teams in the country. Okay, we went on the road to Ohio State in week 1 and lost to them on a 1-score game, and we have the ball at the end of the game, and we outgained them by nearly 200 yards, and no one else has been close to a 1-score game against them. But I think more importantly, it's the message that what do we want to send to the head coaches and the athletic directors around the country? Do you want us not to schedule Ohio State? Because if we're a 10-2 team right now, this isn't a discussion. We're in the playoff. But we were willing to go up there and play that game.
What I found really interesting there, Roger, it was like an actor that already knew his lines. He knew every single thing. He knows their entire resume. And then he brought up something that I think a lot of people will take time to pause and say, hey, he has a point there. They did not have to schedule Ohio State. Ohio State's the #1 team in the country. They could schedule just some nobody team, get an easy win. They're 10-2 and now in the college football playoff. At 9-3 right now, given their losses and the way they have been so far, do you think that Sark makes a good point that his team should be in? And what do you think ultimately the committee does?
He makes a great point because that's what he's got to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
well, he has no choice. He's banging the drum on the SEC network this morning. He's on Colin Cowherd. He's going on Dan Patrick tomorrow with one message, and that is, hey, let a loss team in that beat 3 top 10s, lost to the time the #2 team. The Florida game was a 1-score game. The Ohio State game was a 1-score game. Georgia got away from him, but his point there is if you watch the game, you saw it was a 4-point game into the fourth quarter. Then, what happened. But, that's the best he can do. They did what they could. And I think what stings more than anything is if they're sitting there in a few weeks watching Oklahoma, watching A&M, and just icing on the cake for them, watching Texas Tech. Didn't play Texas Tech, obviously, but still, you're talking about 3 programs that they don't get along real well with. And to see all those 3 in the playoff, 2 they beat, 1 they didn't play, and they're on the outside looking in, that's going to sting a little bit more.
Since losing to Texas, they've only scored 45 points in all 3 games. Diego Pavia has been the leading passer and the leading rusher for Vanderbilt in all 3 games, and they got big
over
wins.
400 yards in every game.
Yes, over 400 yards in every game, which now begs the conclusion about his Heisman chances. I think if you're just looking at the Vegas odds, does it look like he'll win? I think it's a travesty if he's not in New York. What do you make of him being able to win college football's ultimate prize?
He's the best player in college football. He is the most important player in college football. About a month ago, I heard he didn't have the stats to win the Heisman. Take a look at the stats now. Yeah. He is 1,000 yards clear of all of his other competition. 1,000 yards, all right? He's got almost 1,000 yards rushing. He's amassed, 36 touchdowns for the season, okay? Yeah. 27 passing, 9 rushing. And he's led Vanderbilt to scoring over 40 points 7 times this season. This is Vanderbilt we're talking about. Right. All right? Scoring over 40 points 7 times. All right? I mean, and everybody knows what's coming.
Yes.
Every play, and I know I've said this on this show before, every play, run or pass, runs through him. Okay, and they still can't stop him. There's no setting the edge against him. He just runs around it every time, and he's just a tough little nugget. I mean, there is no stopping him this year. I mean, no one's been able to do it. I mean, Alabama held him to 16, right? And he had the 2 interceptions.
Missouri maybe was the other game.
That was a big fight. Yeah.
Right, and even in the Bama game, they turned the ball over a couple times. They're in the red zone. So I mean,
it's in north. Yes.
Right. You change those outcomes into points, and who knows?
I mean,
and also in those games, Vanderbilt got kind of away from its identity.
Correct.
That was also a problem in those games. Yeah. Sorry, Pat.
No, it's okay. I will say this morning we talked about how it seems like it might be a little bit of a distant chance for Pavia to win the Heisman. I saw On3 put out their Heisman poll this morning, and Pavia was number 1.
Oh, wow.
So,
interesting.
I mean, you could definitely – I'm on the Pavia hype train. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. You got me into it.
If you've watched, how can you not be?
He is the best player. He literally
is. It's undeniable.
Yep.
I mean, look, I think I probably told you guys this story. I heard all about him because I knew some people who know people on the Vandy coaching staff who were with him in New Mexico, and they're like, yeah, he's going to come in and he's going to tell everybody he's going to be the best, but he's going to be their guy. And I was like, okay. And so I go to practice for the first time last year, and I'm like, which one is he? Because, I mean, he's like 5'9".
Right.
And like, number 2. And I'm like, I thought he was a walk-on. All right. And because that's what he looked like.
Yep.
And you watch practice, and practice is always like 3/4 speed and everything. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. I mean, it's Vanderbilt. This was still Vanderbilt last year before they turned the corner.
Yeah.
And I always, you guys know Ray Tanner, former Gamecock baseball head coach.
Yes.
He and I were I used to work in Columbia, and we were good friends. And we were having lunch one time, and he had a right fielder named Adam Poe, who was hitting about 390, and driving him nuts because he's late for practice. He didn't go to class. All the things that Ray stands for.
Yeah.
And we were having lunch one day at 5 Points, and Ray's like, Corey, what do I do? I said, you look at the 390 next to his name, and you pencil him in the 3 hole, and you move on. Okay? All right?
Yeah.
That's Diego Pavia.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime. And remember, you can watch our show, Southeast Sports Plus, from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device. Let's start right there at the top. You were checking social media as we were talking. I was checking it as well about the Duke-Florida game. Great on paper, great on the court. Ended a little controversy.
Yeah, apparently there's some folks not real thrilled with the way the officiating came out in that game. And I guess so. I mean, I suppose it's a little bit, when you have a matchup like that, a little bit of it's going to be about the officiating, I suppose. But taking that out of the mix, that's a great matchup all the way around. You had, the stars on both ends. You had the defending national champs, a team that Duke would have loved to have faced last year. They got a chance to do it at Cameron Indoor. The atmosphere was just electric. The noise was great. Manny Diaz was in there trying to pull votes for the college playoff. It was awesome.
We talked with you yesterday when we were previewing this game, and that guy right there, Cameron Boozer, yet again, another crazy night for him. But to me, it was Isaiah Evans that had the big 3 there at the end. What'd you make of Evans there?
Yeah, so Isaiah Evans was trusted in that game, and he's been trusted in the past. But I think what we're starting to learn is John Shire is going to lean on some of the guys who have been around, right? Like this was last year's Duke team. Guys came in, they filled out a starting lineup, they were gone, right? There was a ton of one and dones, and there just wasn't a lot of continuity from the previous year. And I think Shire understands that Caleb Foster and Isaiah Evans and Malik Brown, these are guys that he's going to have to rely on. And Evans stepped up. I think the experience that he brings to the table is a nice offset, because look, Cameron Boozer is just supremely talented, but he's also played, I don't think he's played double-digit college games yet. So, they need some folks that can help that cause. They need, some experience that can help them kind of balance that out.
We got a chance to hear from Alex Golesh in his introductory press conference about the quarterback position.
I've been in situations, more times than I can even think of, where it went all the way through August. I don't know if you can rush that part of it. I do know this. You want to have the best competition you possibly can in a room. Because if you do, you let these guys compete, give them every opportunity to grow, develop within the base foundation of what you are from a system standpoint. And then you pick the guy that you feel like gives you the best chance to win. And there's so many factors that go into that. There's obviously the mental side of it, like who can process it faster than anybody else. There's obviously the physical component to it. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I don't think you can rush that part of it. There's some talented dudes sitting in that room. They have tape, certainly at this level. We're evaluating it like crazy. We evaluated it coming in. I think the biggest thing that we've got to figure out right now is the competition part of that. Are you going to add somebody else? Are you going to add multiple people? And at the end of the day, the competition will take as long as it needs to. I think in the perfect world, you'd love to know in January. In our situation here, we won't. And we probably won't till August, I would imagine, unless spring ball carries out in such a fashion that you'll know.
So, of course, for Alex Golesh, the answer immediately will be who are his assistant coaches. And I think a lot of people will have keen eyes on DJ Durkin. There was an outside shot that he might be able to retain this job. And I think that if you look at what Durkin's been able to do, both from a recruiting standpoint and what that defense looked like early in the season, I would say the first 9-10 games or so, he looked like to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the entire country. Do you think that they keep him on board after what we saw there in the Iron Bowl and the few games that he was the interim head coach?
You know, I think it would be very smart if they were to keep him as the defensive coordinator, because I think I talked about this a few weeks ago after the Vanderbilt game. It just looked like when he was focusing on solely the defense and not having to overlook everything that was going on, that was when he was at his peak. Auburn had a great defense under him when he was just the defensive coordinator. And then the Vanderbilt game came, and it was like, okay, now I have to look at this. Now I have to look at that. Now I have to overlook the entire operation, and I can't spend as much time with my defense anymore when the offense is on the field because I have to oversee the offense as well.
Right.
So I think he would be a great defensive coordinator. He is a great defensive coordinator.
Right. Yeah, he is.
And I think Auburn should make every move to retain him on the staff.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime. And remember, you can watch our show, Southeast Sports Plus, from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device. I would consider some of the top performances of Thanksgiving weekend. Diego Pavia obviously comes to mind. The Oklahoma defense comes to mind. Texas as a team, especially defensively, getting some big plays over Texas A&M was a thing as well. But if I'm combining offense and defense, my player of the weekend might be Patrick Waugh.
Whoa,
Patrick,
there. No.
Let's wrap up your holiday because I know that you played at a very important Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, so I played at a Turkey Bowl. I went up to good old Rochester, New York, which, you know, down here in Mobile, Alabama, it's raining. I did hear the rain a little bit. It's 59 degrees. It probably feels a little bit cooler than that. But when I played in this Turkey Bowl, the wind chill was at 20 degrees.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I'm like, oh, goodness. And here we go. So, we'll roll through some of the highlights. We got some of the highlights here for you. This is first drive of the game here. You know, there's me in the black hoodie. Drop the first pass.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, man, you know, that
was
one
it just
hurts.
too cold? What was going on there?
I wasn't really in there yet.
What was the warm-up like, though? I got to ask you, what was the warm-up like? Was it
the warm-up? All right, the warm-up, you know, it was just like all right, you know, gotta get a nice little stretch here going real quick. Gotta hit a quick jog and, you know, just warm-up stuff.
Yeah.
And first pass wasn't great. You know, it wasn't really. I just wasn't ready for it, honestly. And I think this is it again. Yeah, it just slips through the hands. So I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going to get right back out of here. And here I am, looking for it again. And this one's tipped up. I almost catch it off the tip, but just unable to. And then it's going to quickly go to me getting burnt at safety.
Oh, you know,
no. That wasn't technically my coverage, but here we go. Here's the first good one over the middle there. Nice slant route for the tutty. First one of the day.
I like it.
And then I'm going to look for a second. I'm hitting that same slant route again. I got it, but, you know, it got us inside. That did lead to a touchdown. But here's the one where I burned this guy. I was wide open.
Oh, I see the hand go up.
Yeah, both hands go up. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I was wide open. And then here we go. I'm boxing the guy out for the game winner there.
Wow.
Give us the win in game one.
Wow.
And I got some stats on the day. 6 catches, 63 reception yards, 2 touchdowns, but 5 drops. You know, that's always going to come back to hurt you. But on defenses, 5 passes defended, 8 tackles, and added a pick on the day. But, you know, yeah, this is all in good fun. But, you know, there's one thing that did happen, you know. Unfortunately, I have the insider info. I suffered grade 2 calf strain.
Oh, no.
I'm going to miss significant time. I'm going to be placed on long-term injured reserve. But the good news is the earliest you can expect me back is for next year's Turkey Bowl.
You got a chance to recover. You got
12
months.
The calf's hurting a little bit.
That's our show tonight. Remember, you can watch Southeast Sports Plus Monday to Friday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. Catch us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device. Good night.